Looking through the lot, now you know I'm coming through. When the growth look good on you, best believe they wanna screw now. I've been trying to climb, devil threw me in the dark. Baby, don't be insecure, you can still go make a mark like blow. Could never let them drain my soul now. Blow. Table turning like doorknobs, wow. Blow. I think I'm about to set sail. I'm a walking, living legend, walking with my chest out. Life keeps dealing me cards, I keep feeling it.
Yo. First and foremost, big up John every time, man. I am always bopping my head to this intro and outro, man. Very, very good tune. Make sure you guys obviously head over to his YouTube channel. Spotify, obviously the links are always in the description. Obviously this evening, we are here to talk about Liverpool against Leicester City. Myself, G, and I'm obviously joined by my bro, Jerry. What you telling the people, man? What you telling me?
I'm good, man. I'm not going to lie to you people. I'm battered, man. I'm battered. Like, you know, summer, I'm here. I'm trying to do this, you know, waking up early, going to the gym, and I'll send you off camera, man. I'm smashed at the moment. So, yeah, man. But look, I'm happy to obviously be on the 7 o'clock. Do you know what I mean? I like it. It's a nice start to the week, man. So big up to obviously everyone in the comment. Make sure we're obviously smashing a like. And yeah, man, we got to get GTV to 2 million subs, man. That's the goal, man.
Don't listen to this guy, man. Don't listen to this guy. Big up, as Jerry said.
Well, if there's 2 million people watching, you don't want them to subscribe.
Okay, cool. Obviously, if there was 2 million people watching, man, will be, you know what I'm saying? I want 2 million subscribers. I'm not gonna lie. But obviously, big up, as Jerry said already, big up everybody who's in the chat. Big up Redbird, big up Jon Thomas, big up Scratch, big up Zane. Who else is there up on the gully? Big up Alexander, big up King's Mano 07, big up your damn self, big up Honesty. A nice little bit. Big up G, big up JJG, hate him or love him, Darwin is playing with more confidence. I know it's preseason, but let's hope he brings this form into the season. Yeah, we're gonna dive into him. We're going to dive into him. Big up Anfield Road End as well. And Revenite, big up your damn self. Cheese Street approved Thames in the blood clot building. Guys,
yeah, man, I'm plugging in. You're not gonna be able to finish, bro.
Bro, you know what I'm saying, bro? I wouldn't be able to finish. Big up, I'm gonna get to everybody at a later date, man. I'll get to everybody. Cheese, come on, dude, come on. I should have to refuse to give Tom any credit. Hey, man, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But now, obviously today, Liverpool, they won 4-0 against Leicester City. We won a trophy, by the way. I'm not hearing enough people talking about it. You know what I'm saying? We lifted a trophy in that. Virgil van Dijk.
Virg skip our first trophy in that.
Well, Skipper, hey, all I'm saying is, if this is the kind of record that he's bringing, you know what I'm saying, 100% in that, then I'm not here to complain too tough.
Quick question.
Chat to me.
Was John Barnes ever skipper at Liverpool?
Yes. Oh, I don't know if it was on a permanent, though, but I know I've seen him in games.
On a permanent thing. I don't think so.
People in the chat, let me know, because I actually don't.
What are we saying? Verge is the first what? First black skipper of LFC, yeah? Is that what we're saying?
What about Paul Ince? I feel like Paul Ince would have been one.
Maybe Paul Ince.
Yeah.
But do you think they could do that after coming from United? I don't think so. Let us know in the comments. I know someone will know it.
That's actually a good shout. And also, guys, people in the comments as well, if you've got any questions, anything you want to ask us, please just make sure put them in. I'm going to start every single one, and then during the show, and that will just every now and again, I think twice in the show, we'll probably just answer the questions for you guys. So any question regards to today's game, Liverpool in general, anything you guys just want to ask us, man, just put that in there, man. Just put that in there. Anfield Road says, yeah, he was in mid-90s when he was a midfielder. Okay, cool. I thought so, but I don't know if he was a permanent captain or just like, oh, such and such is out today, so John Barnes is going to be captain. Like, I don't know if it was. When I started watching Liverpool, John Barnes was not the John Barnes I remember hearing about anyway, where I'd say for free.
G's revealing his age there, bro. I can't remember. John Barnes is something I remember on the tapes, bro. That's it.
Man, not too old, you know.
John Barnes, I'm like, yo, hey.
I'm not too old, people, man. I'm not too old. Big up Violent Yo. By the way, your name is jokes, but scary at the same time. Pick up yourself. Clark took his goal well, but he ain't it. I'm more impressed with the McConnell kid. Yeah, we're going to dive into all of that, man. We're going to dive into all of that. People in the chat, let us know. And I'm going to ask Jerry this question as well. Obviously, we won 4-0, 3-0 up at half time. Second half, Ben Doak obviously gets his goal as well. So you think, cool. So now I think Zabiri was saying it, but someone else mentioned it as well. I'm sure all the attackers now have scored. That's Salah, Darwin, Diaz, Jota, Gakpo, and Ben Doak. I'm sure that's all of them that have now, they've all hit the back of the net, at least once during this pre-season. But obviously, in regards to today's game, just in a general sense, kind of sum it up for me, like it just briefly before we obviously dive, deep into it, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, good run out again. I think let's just caveat the whole thing and just remind everyone it is pre-season. I know the last time we chopped up, I mean, a review of the game, everyone was like, "Oh my God, what's going on? X, Y, Z." Like, relax. So I'm going to caveat it. It's pre-season, so I'm not going to look into anything too deeply.
That's what we do here, my brother. That's what we do, bro. People need that. They need that.
Good run out. Yeah, I think good run out. Let's just start with the positives. I think. Look, the fact that we're able to attack in the way in which we're able to, and there's some confidence flying around. The forward line looks like they're clicking. I know. Go back to last season, Núñez not confident at all. Jota wasn't confident. Diaz wasn't really available, and then when he came in, he was hot and cold. They're all looking They're all looking good, in it. Like in terms of they're getting that sharpness. It's good to go and see. Just another outing to go and see kind of the plans for McAllister, Szoboszlai, Trent, some of the young players as well. I'm looking obviously at the next game being the final game of preseason, which is actually crazy. Did I fight blood? Do I look red? Do I?
Maybe it's the light. To me.
Maybe it's the light.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I know. Obviously, listen. Look, Jerry's a bit of a madman. Obviously, every day he's always telling me, "Yeah, I had to punch up this guy, punch up that guy." Like, it's all crazy, guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a bit mad.
That's the light. It's the light. It's the light. There we go. But man. Yes. It's like it was good, man. It was good to obviously go and see where Jones and Elliott are going to fit in. Just the different combinations of midfielders. I know, I think today we went and saw Jota and Núñez together. We didn't see that previously, so it was just good to go and see those types of things. I think we've got one more preseason game against Bayern, and then it's Chelsea, isn't it? Because I think that the Strasbourg.
Now we got Darmas, some German thing. I'm assuming just by the name Darmas. Hey, people in the chat, man, you already know what I'm talking about.
Let me know. Did that not get cancelled? Because didn't we have one against like Preston North End or something like that that got cancelled?
I don't know. I don't know. You know what? I don't actually really know after the Bayern Munich game, and I don't even really care, to be fair. But
Darmstadt. That's it. Darmstadt. Darmstadt. Is that another? Is that another a team that Klopp supported as a kid or something? Who are these teams? Why? But why? Anyway, all right. I don't know why we're all right. Let me not even just start losing my rag. Like, you go from Bayern to anyway. Cool. We're facing Darmstadt, but look, that Darmstadt game, I think it's gonna be like Gomez and that are playing the whole game and stuff. But for me, so obviously this game and the next game, we're up in the level now, isn't it? Like, going against Bayern Munich, that's going to obviously be a bigger game. It's going to be more testing. It's going to be more difficult to kind of contain the kind of friendly feel of a game as well, because you know who the players are. You know they're going to want to have a point to prove. You want to kind of lay a marker down. So it's going to be good to go and see. But yeah, man, that's what I'd have to go and say.
I feel you, man. I feel you. People in the chat, man, how did you feel, obviously, in regards to today's game? You know what I mean? How did you guys, just, a little briefly, were you guys happy out of 10? If everyone can give me a score out of 10, how did you rate the entirety of the game? Just to quickly, myself, just to sum it up, I would say out of 10, I probably would have given it a 7, a strong 7, pushing an 8 potentially, because obviously we did get those 3 goals before half time. But prior to that, I just felt like defensively, I mean, we all saw the game. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all saw prior to us scoring it. I don't know why, we'll get into it. We were just getting cut open. It just reminded me of another Premier League game. It was as if we were facing Leicester last season again. And, we were trying to figure out a few things, blah, blah, blah. So, for me, attacking wise, I think Liverpool look really, really good. And I think we are clicking. Although I was never really worried, but we were clicking, if I'm being totally honest with you, in that regards. Defensively, there's still some issues there. I don't know if it's players in terms of personnel, or it's a case of, the style of play, the way that we set up tactically, and things like I guess these are the things that are going to, come to fruition throughout the season and stuff like that. But again, for the third game, I know we didn't concede today, and I know that is a good thing in itself, of course, but we all watched the game. We all saw it. We're not silly. We saw how open we were, prior to us scoring. Is that going to be a problem? I believe so, in the future, in terms of, the game in its, the Premier League in itself. But, more often than not, with the quality that we've got, Diogo Jota, Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez, Mo Salah, Cody Gakpo, even Ben Doak, chipping in potentially. That, what I'm thinking, and I've mentioned this before on Sav Show, 17-18 season. Attack's going to be dope. But the defense is like, do we need another Van Dijk to come in? Do we need that type of influence to come in at the back, like to shore us up again? Because right now, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just not really, it's just not really popping for me. Big up you guys. Obviously, Kings Mano says he gives it an 8. Honestly saying Zoboslav was salty. I feel you, dog. Max is obviously saying 7. Captain Sal is giving it a 6. Alexander's giving it a 6. Mark A saying first 20 minutes was dreadful, but after that, good. I totally agree. Honesty 7.5. Now I feel you, man. Abdus is obviously giving it a 7. Mifta is giving it an 8. Yeah, look, I think I would give it like a strong 7, and then pushing, pushing an 8, later on down the line. But the first thing I wanted to obviously dive into today, and one of the topics I wanted to talk about is obviously Trent. Now, obviously looking at Trent's position, and me and Jerry were already talking off air, just giving our kind of thoughts in behind Trent Alexander-Arnold. Let me take these banners off actually. Talking about Trent, his positioning in the team, blah blah blah. Chat to me, bro. Chat to me, because obviously in this game he was playing as the inverted right back, as we want to keep calling him. But then obviously he was playing a little bit alongside Jones, who we'll obviously get into in a minute. How do you kind of see that moving into the season? Because obviously, if you're looking here at his heat map, he's kind of trying to push up a little bit, obviously up that right-hand side, but then he's obviously dropping in every now and again, obviously in defensive and attacking transitions. But we saw how poor we were defensively whilst he was on the pitch, not just him, but the rest of the team. How do you see it, man? How do you see it?
Yeah, I think looking at the sofa score rating, I think it represents what type of game he had. I think it was a good 7 out of 10 game. I think it was a position that he's comfortable in now. He kind of knows what he's doing. I think it was a back to basics, kind of revert back to type of game for him. He played well, good passages of play, like good couple balls, and I think it's just what we expect of Trent. I think I'm not going to go overboard and over the moon, because unless he's getting 4 assists or 3 assists in a game or scoring 2 goals, that's the level I hold him at now. I think this is just his base level. This is just the level that he's able to go and play at when he plays at right back. Interesting to obviously see how he's going and coming inverted and how often he did it in the game. I think it's quite interesting because when Fabinho was playing, when we looked at the heat map, he was much more central in those games. Whereas it seems as though we're looking at that heat map there and then looking at a couple of times when, like, good little combination plays and stuff, Jones was the deepest of the midfielders, but it's like he had no one ahead of him. It's like everyone trusted him to go and find the man. He didn't need someone near him when we were on the ball, which helped us in terms of building up play. But then from a defensive standpoint, we were getting caught out a bit. And I think him playing out right back, ultimately, look, we've still got the issue with Konate being isolated. A lot of chances down that down right hand side. Indeed, he skipped past a few times. Dewsbury Hall on that left side as well, picking up the ball in interesting positions. It's going to be a dynamic that I think, look, it's preseason. We're going to have to obviously look at and see what the potential is and what the potential kind of lineup and the potential kind of combinations of players kind of works, because we had McAllister, Trent, and what is this? Is that, can I say, was it Doak in that first half? Was it Salah? Salah. Salah on the right hand side, was Salah, isn't it?
Oh, on the right hand side, yeah.
Salah. And it was interesting to go and see how they were playing. It was just an interesting. It was just an interesting game. I think obviously we'll talk about McAllister, but I think look, good performance from him, from Trent. I want to pose this to like obviously the chat and let me know what you guys think. Were we more solid in the last two games when Trent played in the first half, when he played in midfield as opposed to playing at right back? Did Konate get exposed as much? And were we able to kind of, and did we kind of just get cut through the middle? If I'm being honest, I don't really remember that. Whereas in this game, maybe it was a better opposition, maybe so, but yeah, it just didn't look great, man. It just didn't. It looked like what we saw last season. So yeah, but I think that's as much as I can say on Trent, man. Yeah.
No, you know what? You even got me thinking. So you almost kind of, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but effectively like insinuating when he was playing in that actual midfield position itself without doing this whole inverted crap, we were a lot more defensively, quote unquote, solid on that side, as opposed to, you know what?
The reason why I'm saying that, G, is because when he's in that position,
I'm not even against it.
I'm saying when he's in that position, he's there, right? And then we know that I think it's Clarkson who's playing right back in those earlier two games. Bradley. Connor Bradley. He's playing at right back, and he's trying to do the inverted thing, but it doesn't really work for him. So he knows I'm not going to be as good as Trent going forward and getting on the ball. So I'm going to be much more defensive. So even though, in terms of progressing with the ball, he isn't as great, and he's a bit more of a kind of old school kind of out wide right back, and he'd probably suit him better, and we probably see better performances. I felt we were more solid, and we actually saw Trent get up a bit more in those games, and knowing that one of the midfielders, that the movement between the midfielders rotating is much easier than trying to deal with a right back that's coming into your space, but then you're moving out of there, and then you're looking away, and that right back spot is empty, and it can overcomplicate things. I think it can do if you haven't got it spot on, and if you haven't got a defense like a back three that's very, very, very solid. I think go back and look at City. City only started performing really well with this kind of inverted fullback when they started to go and play Ake, Diaz, and Akanji before, and with Stones doing the inverted thing. I think when Walker was doing the inverted thing, it didn't really work. When Ake was doing the inverted thing on the left side, it didn't really work. They had to kind of get the combination there. So we're going to have to obviously just go and wait and see. But from Trent, I mean, that's what I expect from him, man.
I feel you, man. And guys, listen, let us know in the chat, man. What do you guys think in regards to what Jerry's saying? You know, are we more? Do you think we looked anyway? Obviously, we weren't knowing the season, but so far, did we? And bearing in mind, people, we had a strong, that was our strongest back 3-4, if you want to count Trent as the inverted. That back line was the back line that we're going to see this season, 9 times out of 10, you know, in most of our games, which is Robbo, Van Dijk, and Konate, with Trent doing whatever role in that inverted. But you saw how open we were. You all saw it. It was crazy, you know, in that first 20, 25 minutes of the game. Whereas I kind of agree with Jerry. I don't feel like we was even that open. It was only when we started making all of those changes, like bringing on Gomez and Matip, Costas, and all that, you know, in the other games, that's when we start looking a bit like, oh, yeah, this defense is leaking goals, conceding 4 goals, and etc. etc. So can't lie, you know what I mean? He may, you know what I mean? Jerry might have a shout still. I can't even front. I don't want to put no agendas out there. You feel me? I don't want to put no agendas. But obviously, taking a look here, this is obviously the average positions of the game. I mean, obviously, we'll talk about a couple of the other players as well. But I'm looking at that. And you already know my pet peeve with Liverpool and in the way that we kind of set up. I know this is preseason, but guys, you already know. This is, again, exactly how we're going to play that first game against Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to individual quality. It's not going to come down to anything outside of that. And looking at that straight off the rip, why have you got 2? Why is there only 2 at the back? Where's Robbo? What's the role that Trent's playing? Obviously, he's doing the inverted thing. So what's Robbo doing? That is always my question is, okay, you've got one player on the right-hand side who's obviously doing this inverted role, etc., etc. No problem. I've not got no beef with that because he's obviously the the better player, so to speak, and he's the one that you want on the ball, and you want to get him into these areas of the pitch. Again, I do look at Robbo, and I just always think to myself, what are you doing down, that side? I know we can sit here today and say, oh, but nothing, necessarily happened, etc., etc. But remember, the defense. Jerry's a defender; he'll be able to tell you better than me. The defense has got to move it's got to move as a unit at the end of the day. So when one component of that unit is just out of chink or whatever, because they're not necessarily doing the job that they're supposed to do, this is why you start getting opened up, because we've got to almost overcompensate for something else, whether it be Trent, whether it be Robbo, whether it be both of them. But when you're looking at that, it's like we're playing a 2-3-1-3-1 kind of thing, with Nunes just up there doing his thing.
Where it just looks like, if you're being honest, it looks like a 2-2-4-1 with Robbo just in no man's land.
Yeah, slightly. Yeah. But this is the problem though, is that why is it that Robbo, again, with this lack of tactical discipline, do you think, I'll ask you this, and people in the chat let me know, do you think then it's a case of he just lacks the discipline, or Klopp doesn't mind him doing the like these things, like in terms of just bombing up down that left hand side? Like, what do you think? Is it just him, or is it a Klopp thing? Is it both? Like,
I think, if I'm being honest, what's Robbo good at? Robbo's good at getting forward.
Yeah, getting forward, putting the ball
getting on the ball, trying to conduct play, rotate with who comes inverted with Trent, defend and just sit back isn't his forte. It isn't his forte. So when you're putting him there, we're actually less effective because we're not bringing out the best of him.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting to go and see that he plays really, really advanced anytime he plays on that left side. Whereas when Tsimikas plays, he becomes inverted. And Gomez stays out wide and he's a bit more defensive. I find it.
So you think we swap?
Yeah, it's like we swap, but Tsimikas comes inside. Now, in an ideal scenario, what you would want, in my opinion, anyway, is you'd want your left back and your right back to be able to invert at different times. So be able to overload both sides. So, and have the synergy and the connection between each other to look around and be like, okay, Trent's going to go forward, I'm going to come inverted, and vice versa. And I think we're going to see that from Arsenal, if I'm being honest, this season, with the signing of Timber. Having Zinchenko doing that last season as well. Yeah, it's just, I think it's a Klopp thing by telling him, look, for you to be effective, we need you to get forward. And then he's also really good at pressing the ball really high. And at least we have a man that's going and pressing. But I don't think he's part of the system in a defensive aspect, like part of a unit or part of the unit going forward or in midfield. I think he's just a body in there that just helps the team. That's the way I look at it. So it's an interesting one for me. I don't really like it either, but I mean, what else is Robbo going to go and do? I don't think he's particularly good at any of the other kind of facets of the game like that. So,
no, listen, man, I kind of agree with you, man. Because obviously King Klopp, I picked out this comment. Klopp lacks tactical flexibility. Yeah, great, do the inverted thing, but change it up, different tactics with different teams. Otherwise, become predictable yet again. And that is definitely something that I do look towards. It's just, yeah, honestly, it is just really just the makeup. To be honest, look, it's crazy. We won 4-0 at the end of the day. We got a clean sheet. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my goodness, like Liverpool played absolutely poorly. But if we're just taking it back to, looking at Trent, and just quickly before we move on, I'm looking at his position, and again, like Jerry asked, and I think it's making me think quite a lot, even on the spot. How do we look defensively in transition when Trent does the inverted thing and he has to obviously slot in behind, because we even saw it, towards the back end of last season. Yes, when Trent gets on the ball and he's able to create and do all of these things, one of the best creators in Europe. Let's not even get it twisted. He's easily one of the best creators, in European football, just because of his actual on-ball abilities. But then when we're starting to look at defensively in terms of the transition, which I actually don't even blame him for, I think it's just more of the setup. Again, when you're looking at him, when you're looking at Robbo, I just think it's just a little bit unbalanced, if I'm being totally honest with you, in terms of, the initial setup. But listen, if Klopp wants to play that way and that's the way that he feels, he's going to be able to get the best, out of the team in a general sense, then really and truly, who am I to complain? Who am I to realistically complain, man? Obviously, now we move on to just quickly looking at Curtis Jones. Obviously, we saw what he's kind of about in that role. He was kind of, again, playing. It's funny because I say playing in the deep role, but he was obviously on that left-hand side and trying to kind of push up. I think he started doing that more towards the ending of the half, after the first like 20 minutes or so, when we were playing a bit of slow football and stuff like that. He just seemed to, all right, cool, you know what, fuck it. Let me just kind of do my thing and, get on the ball potentially a bit more and stuff like that. How do you see Jones this season in terms of today's game, but obviously moving forward in the future? Like, how are we looking at it?
I'll start on today's game. I think, I think very good performance from him. I think what we've seen, and look, he obviously didn't get that mad goal, mad assist, but you can see the maturity in his game. And I think the confidence he's taken from the back end of last season, being able to play multiple games, the fact that he's played in the Euros, and this season is quite interesting. He had an interview with LFC speaking about the fact that, in previous seasons, or a lot of what people do, they'll say, look, I want 10 goals, 10 assists. He's not even looking at that. He's just like, I want to go and do what the manager's telling me to do, and I want to be a benefit to the team. Now, that's something that he's had to go and mature, because he's always been the go-to guy at academy level. You're the guy that's going to go and get goals. You're going to be the guy that's going to win us the games. The way the Liverpool midfield operate in our team, they're never like that. Since Coutinho, we haven't had a midfielder that's a game-winning kind of type of player. So it's interesting to go and see his development. I think the reason why he's obviously bombing forward on that left-hand side is due to the fact that Trent's coming into midfield. And again, we don't need, when you had Fabinho there, A, Fabinho didn't have the legs, and B, he's not as good on the ball. So you always need a player in and around him to kind of you can link up. With the way our midfield was able to kind of rotate, what you see now is when Trent comes inverted, Jones has got the freedom to bomb forward, and you can have Szoboszlai that drops in deep into those pockets, and we're a bit more flexible when we move about. And I think there was a passage of play in that game where you saw Jones pick up the ball from really deep. Trent ran across him, he linked up, done a little 1-2, he burst forward, then he gave it to Szoboszlai, and you could see like, like they're starting to get that kind of combination work going, which is good to see. Obviously, him playing in the DM role, I think, is going to be very kind of, it's going to be quite worrying for fans. And I think a lot of fans are going to be a bit wary because we haven't seen it a lot. The only time we've seen it is at the Euros. So we've never seen it. I mean, we've seen that at Liverpool in one game in the FA Cup, where he had a decent game as well. But again, something that we're not used to. I personally feel, if I'm going to be deadly honest, I think he's our starting midfielder.
In what? So we'll get into.
I think. Look, everyone knows the links with Lavia. I think he comes in. I think he's an option. Depending on how many games he gets and how fit he is and how ready he is for the season, how good he is in training, he might just go and come in. I think there's a possibility that Thiago hasn't gone to pre-season because they're trying to get him up and ready and back to fitness, not wasting any days, so he can just come in and play as a DM and do that role with Trent. I think that is a possibility at the moment. I think he starts ahead of Szoboszlai at the moment, personally, because I think they're both going to play on the left, and I think currently Jones understands the system a bit more, and the fact that Klopp's actually entrusted him to play in the DM role, and he actually did all right. I think,
No, listen, man. It wouldn't surprise me. Ultimately, with what we've got at the moment available, he just might be that better option, man. Big up Michael Ramsey, by the way, man. You both are chatting shit. Thank you, man. And listen, look, thank you for the view. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't gonna complain over here on this side of things.
Safe, African brother. Safe, man. Safe. My brother from the homeland. Big up, man.
But again, look, elaborate, Michael, man. Yeah, I mean, what we chatting shit about? I'd love to have a conversation, man. Let us know. We're chatting shit. Let us know, man. Call us out on it as well. Call us out, like exactly what we said. Whatever we say, anybody in the chat, you already know the vibes, man. Especially when you're over here.
I'm really interested to see. Do you know why? Because I'm pretty confident I'm going to be able to shut whatever opinion he's got down.
Yeah,
but please bring it to the 42. But I'm just letting you know, you're not going to like win the debate about what I'm saying right now. Like, what am I talking shit about? What was I saying about Jones? He had a decent game. Do you want to get the stats up?
Again, like I said,
he's not gonna talk like that, man. You might as like if that's. I don't know if that's mine. 2 seconds. I'm gonna block this brother, man. I'm not having him talk to like.
No.
The people that reparting on a daily. I'm not having it, man. Apologies.
Yeah, it's on you. Yeah,
apologies overnight like that. We're not having that at all, man. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
See that kind of chitter chat. Man, I'm here for all of that, man.
Yeah, Twitter fingers. Shout out to Drake, innit?
Yeah, real talk. But anyways, obviously moving on. Regardless, obviously I'll let Jerry obviously pattern that up. Again, like we was just talking about, obviously Curtis Jones. Look, ultimately, and big up by the way, Raiders and Jared. Make sure you guys obviously liking up the video. There are 93 of you in here. Just a bit of housekeeping, please. Make sure you guys are obviously smashing that like button. But yes, Curtis Jones, I do think moving into the season, it is going to be very interesting to see, you know, how and where he kind of fits into the squad. I just think it's going to be interesting just in regards to how Klopp then chooses and decides to play. Obviously, different games, different players. Of course, you want that rotation, you want that competition. And I think when we signed McAllister, I think one of the first things that we all kind of said was, all right, cool. You know what? McAllister is going to instantly be, he's going to instantly be, a starter in the team. You know what I mean? We're not even going to talk about it. Like, we're not even going to say, yep, Jones, good backup, squad addition, blah, blah, blah. But now that we've started seeing, Curtis Jones a little bit more, obviously the Euros is obviously then the big plus and stuff like that. But then obviously now pushing forward, it does seem like is there going to be a starting spot? I mean, you guys in the chat, let me know. Is there going to be a starting spot for him, in the first team squad? But, we'll wait and see, man.
Let me ask, what do you think about Jones then?
I think. Oh, brilliant! I think I like Jones. I do like Jones. I don't know what it is, man. I think there's just something about him in a general sense. I think he's doing well at this current moment in time. But obviously, unfortunately, I'm judging him based upon how I view the team. Now, I don't view the team as of a high level anyway at this current moment in time. So when I'm looking at him, I'm like, well, you might just fit exactly what we are right now. Maybe because I've got too much respect, or maybe I viewed the previous team that, when we were doing really, really well, kind of thing. Maybe I just viewed them so highly. But when I look at him now, I'm like, there's you're doing well, and man cannot take the credit away, but you're doing well when we were doing shit. So I'm just like, how good can you realistically be when it was because we were so poor that when you came, like when you obviously started playing, by Tetic, the same thing. When you both kind of came into the squad, you came in during a period of time when it was like, right, well, anybody could have come in, like literally anybody could have. But that's not. I'm not trying to take away from him. He himself has done really, really well. But I'm judging him based upon how I view the team, and I don't view the team that highly. I don't think they're that good.
All right, cool. Does Gerrard break into Liverpool's team, right? If Liverpool's midfield is the way it is when he broke through, with basically nobody's in there. Like we got McAllister there, that's old. Like we're just not achieving anything as a club. Does Trent? I'm saying, does Trent come in at right back? I'm saying, does Trent come in at right back? Right? If Klein's firing on all cylinders, or if we had Glenn Johnson,
Klein didn't get injured, I don't see where Trent was even going to play that season if he didn't get injured.
Exactly. Cool. Saka. Does Saka go and start at left back? Yeah. If their left back don't get injured and they're just in the mud in general, Arsenal are in the mud.
No,
My point is that for me, young players are only ever able to go and show their knack at teams when they're doing really, really poorly. I think it's very rare to go and see a player come in and do what Foden's essentially done. Like, and that's very, very rare for me.
I think maybe that's why that's probably wrong of me then to look at it from that. And I think, and listen, I'm not perfect, people. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't perfect, but I also know when I see something that I like, at the end of the day, maybe it's just a case of you just got more to prove to me. That doesn't mean I think you're shit. It just means you just got more to prove to me in a general sense.
Yeah, because my point is, I think with young players, I think they need to benefit from the fact that they can play games, and it doesn't matter what happens. You could have a poor game and you play. It's just that we trust you. Like, shout out to anyone that's watched like the Stephen Curry documentary, right? If anyone's watched that on Apple TV.
Oh yeah, guys, make sure you watch it. Make sure.
Yeah, have you watched it, G? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, great example.
Yesterday.
All right, great example. When he started and he bricked 13 shots in a row, yeah, you see what would have happened if that was at Liverpool. If that was at Liverpool, do you know what Klopp would have done, especially at the position where we are? You ain't ever touching pitch again. You ain't ever like we've seen it with him with Naby Keita, but over a young player, just never touching pitch again. What did that coach go and do? You're starting the next game. He bricked the first 5 after that. You're starting the next game. And then when he started finding form, he found the confidence. And the manager's obviously giving him.
He's one of my favorite players as well.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, yeah, for any people that are not basketball fans, it's Saka as an example. When he started, he weren't that that great. Gareth Bale, when he became Gareth Bale, he weren't great. Like when he started at left back for Tottenham, he got cooked. But the only reason why he was able to go and just like establish himself is because he had the trust of the manager. Like, you're going to be our guy. Now, I'm not saying Jones is going to be that guy. I think he's got all the attributes to be that guy, though. And you're only going to go and be able to go and see that. Big up the missus. You're only going to be able to go and see that if he plays games. So Liverpool are in a situation right now where we've had to go and play him. So obviously an opportunity popped up. Like that's what happens with a young player. An opportunity pops up. He's taking it. And now it's like one of those ones where if you keep it up, you're that guy. And people saying Saka was our best player even at the start. No, he wasn't. He wasn't your best player at the time. Like he went and came in and done all right at left back. I mean, came in the Europa League, and that's what happened. Rashford, as an example, like they were able to go and come in and remember they were able to go and play in teams that were poor. But you're forgetting that Arsenal. It's not like Saka was coming through when Arsenal where they are right now. Bear in mind, Jones is at Liverpool, and Liverpool winning everything. Everything. Foden's the only one in recent memory that I can even go and speak about. Even Pedri and Gavi. Do you think Pedri and Gavi come in when Barca are at their pumping with Xavi and Iniesta, and it just doesn't happen because that.
No, but, okay, cool. So it's good that you even mentioned those two. I don't. Nobody in the world comes in, so I think that would be a hard kind of comparison to even do, because even look at the Spanish team. Look how many dope players played there, and none of them were able to play. David Silva's, Juan Mata's, Xabi Alonso's was just about getting in. So it might be difficult, but they bar those two, or that three of midfield. I still think players like Gavi, Pedri, I think they come through regardless of anybody else in world football, unless you're playing under like Modric and Cruz kind of thing. And again, we're talking about, remember, we had no one of that level in the team. We're talking about we got players of a way lower level.
No,
so I just don't feel like
individually, no. But it's like I can go and tell you now. I think a lot of people would argue if you had to look at the talent level of like Jones and like Henderson as an example, right? If you told them, show me what you can do in the ball, right? You'll get my man that can do kick up, step overs, and all of that. But technically, there's one player that's just better than the other, right? But what it is that midfield's working and you're winning everything with that midfield. So even though there's things that we can go and see and be like, oh yeah, that brother's probably got a bit of a better dribble or he's a bit of a better passer. This team's won everything. So when the team's won everything, it's like, and we saw it a lot of the times. Jones would have a good game, someone would have a good game, and then what would happen? Even Naby Keita and that would have good games. Ox would have a good game. We're playing Chelsea tomorrow or United at Old Trafford. Yeah, you know what? We need to Milner. Everyone's coming back. The old guard are coming back because we won everything with them. Whereas when these other teams are coming through, they're coming through when the team's garbage. When the team's doing nothing. Like the team's either in transition. You've got Ljungberg and Valentino's just trying to play with the youngsters and the youth team. Do you know what I mean? That's what you're getting. Whereas you're looking at like Jones now, and he's only been able to go and take the chance now because he's been given the game time for whatever reason it is. So for me, it's like, cool, now all we have to do is just play the brothers. Whether the guy is good enough or not, we don't know. But now you just got to go and play the guy. You just have to play him. And then if it don't work out, it don't work out. It's like Tottenham only were able to go and do that with like a flipping, like, all right, great example, right? Harry Winks at Tottenham. When Harry Winks was coming through at Tottenham, people were raving about this brother. But Tottenham were garbage when they were coming through. Bear in mind, it's only when Tottenham were declining that people started looking at Harry Winks saying, he's rubbish, get him out. And obviously he's gone now. He's at Leicester, right? But before that, Harry Winks was that. Remember, he was getting picked for England. He was that.
Yeah, he was playing.
Guy. But he was only able to do that because he was able to play games. And before, the midfield was dead for Tottenham. And Pochettino came in and done that. So for me, like I said, we just got to see in it. Like if now it don't work, then it's like, yeah, you got to go. Like I've said it before, you have to go. And I would have said that back in the last season if he didn't play. Even though I think he's got all the attributes, you need to play games, man.
There we go. The Curtis Jones defense lead. Big up Demo wherever you're at. I don't think he's in the chat, but big up Demo because I know obviously Curtis Jones is his guy, kind of thing. But look, again, I'm not trying to be harsh on him. I'm not trying to be harsh on Curtis Jones. As I've always maintained, I think he is a good player. And from the player that I saw to the player that we see of today, it's two completely different players in terms of one was a I don't know what type of player I could mold him on, but he reminded me of a Coutinho in that kind of sense, in terms of in the attacking sense. Now we are trying to obviously mold him into that into that Gini Wijnaldum, kind of role, obviously to fit the squad that Jurgen Klopp wants, and that's what he needs for his midfield. And he feels that Jones is obviously the best person to do that job. If Jones is the best person, absolutely fantastic. I've got no issues, with that. But ultimately, I just think for me, yeah, like I say, on one side, yes, what Jerry's saying, I do 100% agree. But I'm still going to kindly lean towards the other side. For me, there's always something in when players do come through when teams are rubbish. I am always like, obviously, if a team's doing well and a young player comes through, straight off the rip, you're going to be like, damn, okay, cool. This guy, as you say, Foden, obviously not everywhere. I'm not saying everyone has to be a Foden and stuff like that. But I do look at those things, and that's why I'll always say Foden has a higher ceiling than Curtis Jones. Of course he does. Do you know what I mean? You can just tell that blatantly just from being so young, but also the sheer fact that this guy had to play around God knows how many players, and he's now one of the main players, or he's got like 18 main players at Manchester City. Yeah, but you're not looking at him and thinking that he's out of place, so to speak. When I do look at Curtis Jones, more and more, I'm starting to like it a bit more. I'm not saying I dislike. I think he's doing really, really well. I'm just trying to figure out. So where do you play now? Like what? And the funny thing about that is the problem that he had when he came into the team, which is, all right, where do you play? We're doing the same thing now, but instead of him being in the forward areas where we thought he would play left wing, swap with Mane, or maybe we might play with a number 10. Now we're saying, all right, does he play in the 8? Does he play in the 6? Does we're doing the same thing, just now he's just moved back a bit. He's just moved further back on the pitch, because now we're saying, you're saying he plays. Some people say, nah, Curtis Jones has to hit bench. McAllister, Szoboszlai, all of these guys. I don't know what's going to happen, but we don't know where he's going to play in terms of position-wise, and we don't know if he's going to play. And it's something I mentioned earlier on this morning, was that I big up Jones for what he's done and stuff like that, but ultimately, you've been around the first team, and obviously now you're 22, 23, however old he is, and now we're in the position we're finally saying he's a good squad option. We're not even saying he's pushing for much. We're saying,
but put it this way: if we had signed McAllister in January, and he performed the same way this January just gone, or whoever, Szoboszlai, and he performed the same way as Jones did, would we be sitting there being, we're not too sure about this brother, like he was all right, like we wouldn't be saying that. I think our preconceived opinions about Jones are the fact that it's Jones, not because, and right. I'm not saying it's wrongly or rightly, because obviously you're seeing his performances and you're seeing the amount of games he's getting. But by the way, I don't think he's playing badly. By the way, I don't want everyone to think I think he's playing good. Yeah, or if we had gone and signed Caicedo and he was doing that, do you know how many people will be raving about this? They'll be like, "Raw, he's getting goals, he's doing this. Look at that volley he went and scored." That clip will be going around in circles on Twitter. But because it's Jones, he's not going to go and get that type of. Do you know what I mean? That type of.
Okay, cool. So then,
like he performed better than any midfielder's performed so far.
Who? What? In Liverpool's team or?
No. Since he started playing, since Curtis Jones has been playing, he's been our best midfielder.
Oh, Liverpool. Oh, okay, yeah. But okay, cool.
And that coincides with the run that we went on when we went and got 5th, and we could have got Champions League, as some people like to go and talk.
And look at that midfield. 2 of them gone because they're not good enough.
Exactly. And 2 of them gone. But I'm saying that even within them, I think even now, McAllister doesn't come up and there's no like standout.
That's
my point. So if I'm using that sample size of who's gone and played, if that was any other player, if McAllister played the way like Jones has done, for me, that's not a low bar. Do you know what I mean? If McAllister started playing like Jones and was consistent like that throughout the season, we'd be saying he's actually he's a quality player. In my opinion, I think we'd be sitting there thinking, "Rah, that's been a good signing." You know, look, he's chipping in with goals. He's doing this, like great player.
Again, but this is why I go back to the original point, which is when you're coming through when the team are doing poorly. Remember, we're looking at everything's context. We're looking at a McAllister performance in a team that is, for Brighton, obviously, doing really, really well. In a team that is thriving. They're not doing poorly where we're like, right, okay, it's not like the Lavia situation where you're like, brother, you did really sick, but your team was absolutely dog rubbish.
Exactly.
We're looking at, and it's almost the exact same thing. So when we look at the context of the two, of course you're going to look at a McAllister purely because you're going to say, well, he's doing well, the team is doing well. In Liverpool's team, he's doing well, and he's only doing well for, bearing in mind, the sample size is 10 games or whatever, as opposed to McAllister's over the course of a season. You're looking at Curtis Jones, you're saying, well, he's doing really well. And as you said, it coincided with the run that we had towards the end of the season. But the team is really, really shit. Now, two of those players have now gone. Results. The other one is not there.
But G, we got results though. So that's
no.
So what I'm saying is, this is my point though, is that you see that the Lavia one, I can hear that when someone goes and be like, oh yeah, with Lavia though, he's playing well, but they're losing every game. Like if you're like, you know, like it's them strikers that would get like 30 goals or 20 goals a season, but they're just losing. Like the team's always in a relegation battle, but they're just scoring. Like that's dead, innit? That's dead. Like your impact isn't influential enough. Do you know what I mean? Like we criticize Harry Kane for that a lot of the time. But if your run that we're basing it on, right, and this is what I'm trying to say, if McAllister came in January, and for those 11 games, like from January onwards, how many other games that was? I don't know if it's 11 games, it was probably more. But if after that transpired with us going on a run that almost got to like top 4, and he played that well, we'd be waxing lyrical over him. And that's what I'm trying to say about Jones, in my opinion. So it's very similar, because if Jones was, if this was another player, I think we have just our preconceived opinions on Jones, innit? Like, I just think we have a preconceived opinions about, but he's this, he's that, you know, like, he's poor, you know. Like, sometimes even myself, I need to go and step back, and I was doing that with Trent. There was a point last season where I was like, Trent, he's washed. I don't care what he's doing. Yeah, he assisted, but he done this, and he was poor, and I don't want to see him. And you have to kind of sit back and be like, okay, well, if he came into that midfield and it coincided with him doing well, I've got to compare that to if we bought any other player and he performed like that. Would we be rating it, or would we be saying, sitting there, you know what, that was a shit signing, you know what, that's only good enough for the bench. Like, that's the way I go and see it. Like, do you know what I mean? If we went like Gakpo now, we're saying Gakpo should be starting. But, you know, we had Jota, that's big, or Mane, great example. We can compare Mane and Gakpo from the Januaries onwards. Remember when Mane came back after AFCON? And you had Gakpo. Yeah. Everyone wanted Mane gone even after that. Everyone was like, Mane, this, that. But Gakpo, he performed like stat-wise, and in terms of what we did, he performed better than Gakpo. The team performed better than Gakpo, but we're looking at Gakpo as like a good signing. That's why I'm looking at it, and I'm like, you know what, with Jones, yes, I understand. I'm a Jones fan, like Jones name on the back and all that.
No. But if you got
yeah, but that's the angle I've got. I just think right now, ultimately, this is what we wanted, isn't it? We wanted a period where we always speak about these players staying, and when these players move on, the players that we've got in the academy or the players that are on the bench are gonna take over these players. That's what's happening right now, isn't it? But like I said, if he's dead, isn't it? Like, I just think now you got to give him all the game time now. Yeah. Or he's not. Or he's not good enough, and you got to show him.
No, I agree, and I think look, just to kind of round that bit up before we get onto kind of like the next bit was, I think ultimately, look, we'll see anyway. We'll see what having a Jones obviously in the squad. Sorry, not in the squad. Sorry, in the team. What that, you know, how that transpires for Liverpool. You know, does that mean it takes Liverpool to another level? Is that Liverpool going to, well, not him by himself, because obviously he's not that type, and he's not. I'm not placing that kind of importance on him. But is he going to help to take Liverpool, you know, back up to a certain position? Is it a case of, again, we're waiting 2-3 years before Liverpool become any type of real force and stuff like that? it's all questions. We'll wait and see. Jones is a very good player ultimately, so yeah, let's just wait and see. But there's still going to be question marks over him regardless. I think at the moment, I think your sample size is so small that you're going to inevitably have people saying to you, you know, we're going to need to see this over a season. You know, it's all great doing it towards the end of a season that Liverpool were absolutely shitting, but you know, ultimately, if we see this next season, I think that's when we can really start saying, Jones, you're the guy, man. At this current moment in time, it's just form, you know, because we can't even say form is temporary, class is permanent, because he's never done it over a period of time. But it's going to be interesting to see, man. It's going to be interesting to see. Now, I wanted to obviously move on. Obviously, we took a look at the midfield and kind of stuff like that. We'll take a look at, you know, obviously McAllister, you know, him playing a bit further up, did drop deep a little bit, you know, every now and again, picking up the ball and kind of playing, you know, alongside Trent and stuff like that every now and again. When we're looking at McAllister again, obviously, with what we was just speaking, you know, about Curtis Jones and stuff like that. Again, McAllister, did you think he had a quiet performance today? Did you think he was influential or anything like that in terms of how you think he played, etc.? Like, how did you kind of look at his performance, you know, today?
He's a good player. I think it was all right. I think popped up in some good positions. It's just an interesting role that he's playing. Like a couple of times, like I didn't really like him. I didn't really like him on that right hand side, like when he's whipping balls in. I prefer him in the center a bit more, kind of getting on the ball a bit more and having that Gundogan kind of role. If he's, you know, he's the man. Big up to King Cop, as he's saying. He's the man that links it, and he's like, I like him. Good technician. I do like him. But it was an all right game. Like I wasn't. I don't know about you, G, but I wasn't like, you know what I mean, like mad surprised at what he did. I think it was just a decent game, and I think the Sofa Score rating really represents it. He didn't really get an assist, didn't really create that many big chances, but yeah, you know, kept it ticking, man.
No, I feel you, man. Big up Kalonji. Here we go again. Never satisfied. Like, man, half the fan base included some here. Jones and lots of potential. We've got different standards, my friend. Do you know what I mean? I think that's quite evident in the message that you've just put in there. We've got totally different standards. Mine's not higher than yours. Yours is not lower than mine, and vice versa. Yours is not higher than mine. You know, etc., etc. We've just got different standards in what we expect to see. I think that's just the way of life. So you might see something, it might overexcite you. It might not excite you as much, of course. And me, the same thing, vice versa. I see for certain things, and I'm like, yeah, that's great, or it's not great. It's just different standards for different.
Yeah, it's like, as an example, Kalonji, I think this is a great way to put it, right? G loves like Divock Origi, innit? I'm not the biggest fan, but G loves Divock Origi. He thought, he was a great servant for the club, and he didn't want him to go. I wanted Divock Origi gone, innit? I just didn't think he offered us anything. So, it's one of those ones where, you know, he had a good run, scored some good goals. I wanted him gone. That's not to say me or G's wrong, but do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, do you know what I mean? G's always going to have a soft spot for Divock Origi as well. So, it's what it's like.
If you've watched me long enough, you'll know my thoughts on, you know, Divock Origi. We'll get onto that another time. Big up Weeder. People almost had me thinking Matt 10 pulled up as a damn performance. People love his ability to receive on a half turn, but still not seeing the Brighton Matt 10. I don't think we're going to see that at the moment anyway. But I hear what you're both saying.
That's my point. Is like, we're saying we're not going to see it, but I mean, we saw Coutinho come into Liverpool in January and just hit the ground running, doing it. So it's like, I hear that. I'm not expecting that, but like, we need to just calm it down. The ability to just take a turn or take the ball, some good touches, like that doesn't. It's not game changing like that. It looks nice. It looks pretty on the eye, but it's out of Thiago, man. Like, you got to be a bit more effective. And I'm not saying McAllister's not going to be effective. I'm not saying that at all. I think he was a good player. I just think it was like a decent performance from him.
No, I feel you. And I think, look, I think it was literally, as Jerry said, it was generally just calm. Like, you know what? Kalonji's comment actually, big up King Cop. Yeah, I'll do that as soon as I come off it. I think what Kalonji's saying, in regards to what do you call it? in regards
Jones.
to the standards and stuff. No, in regards to like standards and things like that. McAllister, literally exactly what Jerry's kind of permitted. Some people were waxing very lyrical. Jerry's just downplayed it in a
Yeah,
sense where he
man.
just like, I mean, it's okay kind of thing. But
Yeah.
like, again, it's because of what, in this case, talking about Mac 10, I don't know if we're allowed to even say that on these, but yeah, talking about McAllister, I think it just depends on what you're trying to realistically see, what you expect to see, and stuff like that. Obviously, Jerry expects that Brighton one. He's not seeing it. We know same thing. If you guys are not seeing it, you're not seeing it. I think it might come at some stage in time. Once the season gets into full flow. But we'll wait and see, man. We'll wait and we will see. Obviously, just got a couple, just little stats here. Something I was looking at in the game in itself. You can see here. So Liverpool on the left, Leicester City are on the right-hand side, and it's the top one that really Liverpool won 4-0. We had 3 big chances. They had 2, and they missed both their big chances, whilst we obviously only missed one of our big chances. They had 7 shots inside the box. We had 16. They only had 1 outside. We had 10. Their goalkeeper had to make 8 saves. Jerry, just looking at that, even let's say fuck it, you just didn't even watch the match as an example. So imagine looking at that. Would you think that Leicester were in the game at any point in time, or just even in a general sense, this is for the full game? Or would you think that Liverpool should have won by 6, 7, 8, 9-0, whatever the case may be?
I mean, yes, it's the latter for me, man. I think how can you have 16 shots inside the box, so just under double the amount that Leicester did, have 10 shots outside of the box, which is like almost 100%. That means we're at 99% more. I mean, shots outside the box than Leicester, and only have 3 big chances. Yeah, I mean, they're missing 1 big chance. It's what type of the quality of the chances, and yet again, I think it's an issue that Liverpool is going to struggle with. Teams are going to sit back and want to hit you on the counter. I think we've got to be better at denying these teams chances, in whether it's, keeping the ball a bit better or being a bit more defensively solid. But it's like we're caught in between 2 different philosophies. Klopp speaks about, at that podcast, he mentioned, the first thing he mentioned was obviously the team being a possession-based side, which is all well and good. But if you're trying to gegenpress and also be very counter-attacking and you want to kind of force the ball and be very direct going forward, then you're going to give the ball away. So the more you give the ball away, the more you don't have possession. It's a bit counterintuitive for me. Like, you have to be a bit more precise with how you play. Hence why I think we played better when we had Gakpo and Jota and McAllister playing really narrow, because we're able to link up and keep the ball much better. I think when you're playing long balls and you bring on Salah, who is a bit more direct, even though he comes to feet a bit more now, and then you've got Nunes, who's he's very direct. It just makes things a bit more difficult, because it means you're giving away the ball a bit more, because they're trying to run in behind and they're trying to take risks, which we obviously like, but it just goes against the philosophy of trying to keep the ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, it's just worrying for Leicester to have 2. Have 7, 8 shots in total, but have 2 big chances missed in comparison to us having, 26 shots and only having, 3 big chances, 1 big chance missed. Yeah, it's a bit weird, man.
No, it's true. It's true. And I think obviously that was kind of like the theme, really and truly, in regards to the game itself. I want to move on anyway. I couldn't do the stream without talking about this guy, because people are going to start saying I've got an agenda, even though they know I've got an agenda, and I'll say I've got an agenda regardless. And that's obviously none other.
Darwin Nunes, he came from Benfica to the Big Reds.
All right. Let's just get this over with, people.
Chat to me, G. Chat to me. This is where you got a man. What are you saying about Nunes? Well, I know obviously you were proper upset when Divock Origi left.
Yeah,
Do you mean D27, the arguable D9, has now turned into we've got Darwin Nunes, who's a 27 now. Nunes is Nunes 9. What are you telling me, man?
Listen, man, this preseason he's really I actually don't think he's even changed up his game that much. I actually think he's playing more or less the same as I saw him last season. some reason, I think maybe it's just more because of how we're actually playing going forward. I think we're really starting to slowly get a little bit more out of him potentially. His relationship with Salah, I really do like. I really do think all those times that they played together last season, I really think it's actually helping them. It's helped him. Moving into this season, it's also helped Salah as well. You know what I mean? Because he needs someone to kind of play off and play with. So I think now looking at Darwin Núñez, yeah, listen, if he can, he can continue. Do I think he's the starting striker? No, I think the team played better without him as the starting number 9. Do I think he's a good option? He's looking like it, and we can't shy away from that. Do you know what I mean? We really can't, because what he offers you, pace, athleticism, he's got that strength, he's got that raw ability that he's always had. Is he now improving his finishing? Only time will obviously tell. Last season, he was our top goal scorer in pre-season, and we saw how that season kind of panned out. But what he's showing me at the moment, in terms of, I'm looking at the type of goals that he's getting. Is he now starting to sniff them out a little bit? Because even the goal that he got today, being on the end of, Jota taking the shot, keeper parries it, Darwin Núñez is there. That's what I want to see from Darwin Núñez. I love that. I absolutely love that when I see striker, because for me, that's a real striker. That's why I love Haaland. That's why I call Haaland one of the, if not the best, because real strikers sniff goals. Where other players don't stand in certain positions, that's what they do. And today, we saw it with the goal that, obviously got, and even in the goals that he's got previously. I think it was maybe the last game or the one before that where he rounded the keeper. I can't remember if it was the last game. But, again, another really good goal, being able to run on through and having the sense of awareness, the coolness, the calmness. Let me take around the keeper, easy finish. We're good to go kind of thing. So, listen, man, I have to, nothing but props, nothing but praise for him at this current moment in time. He's scoring goals. I think he's even got an assist. Yeah, he got an assist for Salah in the last game as well. He looks like he's got a good relationship. But again, I just think that for the way that Klopp wants to play, he's not going to be the starting number 9. But in other games, at the moment, I've got no problem with him starting in certain games. I just don't think he's going to be the main number 9. But if he proves it wrong and he can be the main number 9, Darwin, do your thing, bro. Do your thing, man. I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, like just because of what I want. If it's going to be beneficial for the team, you got to be the guy, man. You got to be the guy. So yeah, I think it was a decent performance from him today in terms of his effectiveness. I just do think he does need to start, maybe, like when I'm looking here at the heat map, like that's his heat map, because that's just all he kind of was. But then when I look at Gakpo's, I'm like, okay, so Gakpo was a little bit. Do you get what I'm saying? Hence the reason why I think Klopp would prefer to go with a Gakpo because of this, as opposed to someone who's only going to necessarily play in those kind of areas. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Not because of quality or whatever. They might even just be equal in quality. I think it's just more about what he wants from the team in terms of impact and stuff. Yeah. Well, what do you think, though, in regards to Darwin?
He's been clinical, man. I think it's weird. It's like I compare him, to last season, even though in preseason he was getting goals. Remember, he was shanking at these finishers a lot. Like, he was shanking at them. Like, he was hitting them into the ground. Like, he was just smashing stuff. Like, it was a bit weird. Whereas now he seems much calmer. Like, I know the first preseason game when Salah played it, like he could have shot and he tried to square it to Salah and he kind of messed up the shot, and then Salah, like.
But he did that today, though. He did that today again, and I'm like, why did you pass it? Like, just shoot, my brother. Like, you don't need. He passed it. I can't remember what moment it was. I just remember him passing and thinking, brother, you should just shoot. Like, there was the pass wasn't even on in the end. But sorry, go on. Sorry,
but that's what I'm saying. Yes, I forgot about that. So yeah, it's a weird one. I think he needs to just. I think he's very much a confidence player.
Yes.
I think if he's confident, then like his raw attributes are just going to make him a menace to play against. Like the pace, the strength, the fact he can rasp a ball if he wants to as well. It's a weird one. I saw a clip of them in training. Do you see him clip it onto the crossbar? You see the tech when he did it?
Bro, I don't watch this inside training crap.
No, I saw a clip of it on Twitter. Yeah, it was like a 10-second clip, innit? He's clipped it onto the crossbar, but he done it with like, you know, it looked saucy when he did it. Like he just like effortlessly just walked up to the ball. He just clipped that from far, hit the crossbar. Everyone was like, "Ooh," do you know what I mean? Getting gassed about it. but then you're shanking these other chances and your touch is it's just a bit weird. It's like he needs to just be a bit more calm and composed. And I think when he is, he will get goals because Liverpool create chances. We always create chances. So whoever's playing up front is going to have chances. You're going to, I mean, like everyone up front has scored a goal now. Like all of our forwards have scored a goal. So you're going to get chances. Obviously, he's much more different than Gakpo. I really liked, I know the goal was offside, but it was the one when the ball came to him and he flicked it over the keeper.
Oh, yeah. That was good. Yeah, I like that. I didn't know he had that in his locker, so I was like, all right, say no more.
I like that because that's showing you got that ability to do. I mean, like, I like forwards that can do that. They're running, they can just sit the keeper down, dink him. Like, you need that because it means that you're confident in front of the keeper. Now, we don't know how that's going to materialize against a big team across the season. And I do think that Gakpo is like Klopp's safety net, innit? It's like if Nunes ain't working, he knows Gakpo's going to give him what he needs.
Yes, like, and that's what I mean. That's what
because it's familiar. Because it's familiar, whereas Nunes isn't. So we'll have to just wait and see. But look, good performances. I think we just gotta wait and see what happens, man. But look, all credit to him. You're scoring goals, and hopefully, look, it's going to benefit Liverpool if he gets 30 goals in it. And I know it's going to benefit you as well because you're going to obviously end up with an LFC top with Nunes on the back. So
remember, he has to get 30 plus. Like, I'm not hearing.
Yeah, no, it was 30 goals in all comps.
It was 30 plus goals in all comps.
No, it was 30 goals. Hold on.
Okay, no. If it was okay, if you said it was 30 goals.
Hold on, G. Be honest. Are you scared you might get 30 now? You're saying 30 plus. Like you're needing it to be like 30.
No, because I just don't want no technicalities when we get to that. If he does get to that, and we're going to be sitting there like, oh, well, he got 30. I'm like, well, no, we actually said 30 plus goals. But if you said 30, then we'll do 30. Guys, I've said it here, and I'll say it right there. If Nunes gets 30 goals this season in all competitions, I will buy a Darwin Nunes top for next season.
You heard it here first, people. You heard it here first.
Yeah, you heard it. I mean, you guys heard it, man. You guys heard it. Just before we get into, guys, I've starred all the questions, by the way, so please don't think I've forgotten about them. I've literally starred every single question that has popped up. So keep them coming if you guys have got any more questions. We're going to get into that in the next 10, 15 minutes. I just want to talk about the last two players. And obviously one of them is Szoboszlai. Now, Jerry thinks that he is not going to necessarily start. Potentially, I don't know. Don't know if he hates him. Don't know if he likes him. I like Szoboszlai quite a lot. I think he's shown throughout his career that he is an extremely effective individual. Today's game, even playing in this kind of position here, in that, I don't even know really how to even call it these days because these guys are moving around so much that like it's hard to really pinpoint a position for these guys. But I would probably realistically just say in that 8-ish Jonas position-ish kind of thing. But
the Jones role, is that what we're calling it now? The Jones role, yeah? All right.
Yeah, we have to, bro. No. I have to because it was the role that Jones played.
Makelele role, the Jones role. I'm loving it.
No, but see, the difference is those roles are known worldwide. We're just knowing about this in Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, but
you got to start somewhere, bro. You got to start somewhere. The Makelele only became something at Chelsea, and then it went worldwide.
Nah. Okay, cool. It did, but Jesus Christ, from that one season that when we first see him in Prem, yeah, it was a mad thing still. But Szoboszlai, man. Looking at his performance, I think Szoboszlai. Do I think he starts? Would I start him? It's probably the better question. I don't know if he will start. Yes, because I think the way I'm watching McAllister, he looks like with the intensity that Liverpool are trying to play with, I know it's pre-season, he's got a bit of fitness to kind of get up. I feel like Szoboszlai doesn't require he doesn't require to take that long in order to get his level up to the fitness that Liverpool might require for these games. Whereas I feel like McAllister might struggle to see out 90 minutes for Liverpool because of the way.
Weren't man trying to grill Tielemans? Like we could have got him on a free.
Yeah, what's wrong with Tielemans?
Remember, man was saying that Tielemans can't see out a 90 at Liverpool.
Oh, yeah.
And when I used the argument, man was telling me, no, McAllister's got an engine. My mum will tell you. I remember McAllister's got an engine though. We're seeing it.
Yeah. Go chat to them people. But I'm saying for Szoboszlai, but the thing I never really thought. I mean, I know people used to say it, but I used to always think I don't look at McAllister and think this brother got an engine. I just look at him and think if you're smart with how you play and you play a certain way, then you might be able to potentially you'll get 90 minutes out of him in a general sense. I just think for the way that Liverpool play intensive, I just feel like Szoboszlai seems like someone who could see out those 90, those 90 minutes. I'm not saying both of them can't start games. I just if it was to get to the end, I see Szoboszlai finishing it, McAllister having to come off after a while, kind of thing. Just from what I've seen so far. But yeah, Szoboszlai, nice touches again. Almost scored that. He tried to chip the keeper from the just ahead of the halfway line. I felt he should have scored though, because when I looked at the shot, I was like, it's like he didn't. It's like it's almost like he didn't even believe.
He didn't clip it high.
Yeah, it just wasn't high. Like you literally all you need to do is just get a little bit higher, like just a little bit higher, and it would have gone over the keeper because the keeper headed it away.
He thought the keeper's outside the box, yeah, and was like, if I get it low, I can probably make it go faster whilst being on target, and then it means the keeper can't use his hands to go and catch the ball. So as the ball's coming in, he can only, and I think the keeper did that. I think he got his head on it, innit? He got his head on it.
Yeah, literally headed it away. Like,
yeah, which is like, I mean, if he had gone with his hands, it would have been. It's a tricky one, man. But look, I think it was really, really good. Big up to yourself, King Cop, man. Big up to yourself. But yeah, I think it like even the way he like won the ball back. I think I hear what you're saying in terms of that McAllister thing, man. Yeah, but going back to the thing, yeah, it was just a weird one, man. It was like you need Rooney in that situation just to ping it. You need a pingers there. And
yes, yeah,
floating kind of, yeah.
No, and look, I'm not. Listen, that was just that one moment, but he was decent on the ball. I think. Again, it just depends on the role. Like, and it goes back to Jurgen Klopp, and I'm always going to go back to Klopp. How's he going to utilize someone like a Szoboszlai? Big up Wino, man, saying it here. It's a combo of Mac and Szoboszlai, not likely. Yeah, it's like we're not really seeing that combo. It's one or the other. Like they don't, for some reason, they're not both starting. One starts this half, the other starts that half. So I'm wondering. At the moment, it's looking like a McAllister might be the one ahead from how I'm looking at the teams. Because it's almost like all playing with all McConnell in them, man. Like, not to disrespect them lot, but you know what I mean? Like, he's big up them, man, because they're playing all right. But he's playing with them.
That we're saying, getting Naby K.
Bro, but I feel like it should be the other way around. But again, it just depends on, I guess, the other components, in the team and stuff like that. And you're right, I do think maybe we should start maybe seeing Szoboszlai with McAllister. Maybe we'll see it against Bayern. Hey, we got the Bayern game, man. And who knows? We might get to that Bayern game, play all the players that we all want to see play in this box midfield. Heck, we might see Jones in the pivot alongside Trent Alexander-Arnold, or Trent in the pivot, McAllister in the pivot with Jones, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Trent. I think that might be a 4. And then we've got whoever up front, and then we might cook Bayern Munich. And then we're going to be sitting here saying, yo, that might have to be the team for we don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess that Bayern Munich game will be quite telling, in that regards. But do you see Szoboszlai starting the beginning of the season?
Do I see him starting?
Okay, no. Forget that because we don't actually know. Would you like him to start the beginning of the season?
Yeah, like I would, I would because it's just something different. It was nice to go and see like McAllister popping the ball about, and like that first game. I think it was the first game where they were moving the ball about, and Trent was in midfield, and I think they were moving the ball. It looked nice, man. It looked nice. The fact that Jones has come in and Jones is getting the minutes ahead, though, suggests to me that Jones will be starting. I'd like to see a game with McAllister and Szoboszlai to see how that even works. But I said it when we first signed them. I said we might not see those players play together. They might not work together. Maybe in training they just don't work together. Like there's certain brothers you play with, and you're like, I can't even vibe with this brother. Like this brother's in a different wavelength.
You say about that beefing?
Yeah, no, but not even a beef thing. But not even a beef thing. But it's like G, like there's certain man, yeah, that you do streams with. Like,
I don't like the way he looks like.
No, but like a certain man. Imagine you didn't vibe with me doing a stream. You might come off the stream. You'd be like, stream's really dead. Like you got like Justin, you got Alexander, Lost, Marquez. Like you saying, yeah, I'm not really rating this Joey, but it's not really working. I preferred it when Endman was on. It might be that. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying.
No, guys, guess what, man? I don't really fuck with Jerry anyway. You know what I'm saying? This is just
Bro, I kid you not. It's just a last minute thing. He shouted
You
me.
know what? Honestly, big up. Honestly, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It is like a Lampard, and I hear it. Yeah, because
Yeah.
two great players, but
It
it just
might not
for
work.
some reason.
I'm not saying it won't do. I'm not saying it might work, but we haven't seen it yet. I was just putting it out there when we sign these players. Don't get it twisted. We might these players might not ever play together. It's like I remember a midfield of like Naby Keita. Was that Naby Keita, Fabinho, and Thiago never played together? Or they played like a small amount of games.
Like small, you're right. Yeah.
Midfielders, I remember when they actually started the game, everyone was like, right, it's the like first time this midfield starts together. Like, so this is my point, is that we might not ever see this team looking like, do you know what I mean, starting together. But having those options is a bit different. And I guess we'll have to just wait and see. I don't know what Klopp's got planned, man. I just don't know what he's got planned. We'll have to just
We never know, man. You know how Klopp stays, bro. Like, so Klopp be doing the weird stuff and that. But we'll get on to this last player I wanted to take a look at for the game today. And this is a player, actually, quite a lot of people keep talking about. They're almost saying, do we even need to sign anybody if you've got him? And that is Jarell Kwanzaa. Now, a lot of people have told me, yeah, man, like, do we even need to sign another centre-back in that? You know what I mean? Can't Kwanzaa just play... You know what I mean, just be the option and stuff. And I see the pair people talking about it and stuff like that. Obviously, today's game coming on in that second half. I think he picked up a little injury towards the back end of the game. But obviously, he's playing in that kind of left-sided centre-back position. Let's even take a look, actually, at the second half team, who these guys had. Obviously, Keller, Gomez, Matic, Kwanzaa, Tsimikas, McConnell, Elliott, Szoboszlai, and then Scanlon obviously coming on, Frondorf, Allison coming on, Diaz, and obviously Gakpo. But obviously, just looking at Kwanzaa himself, you like him?
I think he's decent. He's calm, like
yeah.
Like at his best, yeah. I think he could be like a Kwanzaa at Aston Villa. Honestly, he's violating.
Okay.
No, but I think he could be that type of honestly saying JJ's light skinned brother. It's mad. If you saw my brother, yeah, man. Similar, both my brothers. But yeah, man, it's I like him. I think he's very composed on the ball. He's very composed, like he doesn't rush. Like there's a couple times when they're pressing him, he's comfortable getting the ball at the back. He's playing on the left as well, but he's right-footed. So he's very comfortable, and he doesn't really give the ball away. I think he snaps into tackles. I think he had a decent game when he came on as well. I think he made a really, really good block as well, or tackle in the game. Yeah, like I was saying in the last game, maybe, look, for me, big up to Marque saying keep him as fifth choice. I don't want to keep him as fifth choice. We're in a position now where you've got to develop players, isn't it? If he's that good, if they want to go and say, you know what, this guy could potentially play for Liverpool, slap him on loan somewhere, or keep him off the bench, and he's the guy that's coming on like the way Gomez has done in previous seasons. And Gomez is just the right back. Do you know what I mean? Especially now that you can bring more people on the bench. I think if we can go and do that, I think keep him around the squad. I think he's a tall guy. I think he balances the team out a bit more from a defensive aspect as well when we go and play. And yeah, man, I think he's been decent, man. It's been a good preseason for him.
I agree. I'm in total agreement with that assessment of him. I hear what you're saying, Mark, about keeping him as fifth choice. Nah. He's by the way, how old is he? He's the same age as Levi Colwill. So again, if we're looking at someone like Levi Colwill, they're both the same age. Who would you rather have in the team? You're going to say Levi Colwill 10 times out of 10. Just because of their development and who's been exposed to first team football, obviously first, and all that kind of stuff. That's not to say that Kwanzaa can't be as good as him or isn't even as good as him. You know what I mean? We don't even know. We actually don't even know. Big up Wiener obviously saying a Prem loan will do wonders. Liverpool don't do those kind of things. I can't even remember the last team that we loaned a player to in the Premier League. Like,
no, because Liverpool look at it and be like, we don't want to strengthen our rivals. Like, do you know what I mean? Like we know Brentford are compare, innit? Like,
So you know, it's just one of them kind of. We just don't do those. I don't know why. It's honestly, kind of thing. And LFC Aaron obviously saying I wouldn't mind him getting. Listen, again, It just depends if that's going to be enough for him to develop. I think what we all want is he looks like a good player, and I think we've got a player who's got a good base. But if they don't develop how we need them to, we saw it with Billy the Kid when he looked like he had a good base, tall, athletic. All of these kind of
Hold on,
all
G,
these.
sorry. When you said Billy the Kid, I thought you were chatting about Billy the Goat. You know that brother on
Oh, nah, Kometio.
yeah, Billy
Like,
that Billy the Kid.
like I think big up honestly, but don't worry, I've seen all your other questions. I'm gonna get to them in a sec. I think yeah. I mean, we have connections in League One. Like it just feels like that's where we'll loan some of these guys out to. Like we ain't gonna loan them out to no Prem team. You're not gonna see them playing for Lyon in Europa League or I mean, or I don't know, like PSV. Like we're gonna see them rocking up for Bristol Rovers, Tranmere Rovers, like Kidderminster. Like these are the kind of teams, and I think that's what always for me. Again, that's a different conversation. That's what kills for me in terms of the development. Because you're not even getting these guys really ready, for that kind of level of football. And then you're wondering why we don't have that many players who go out on loan and come back and are ready to kind of fit in. The only one I can think of is Harvey Elliott. Yeah, Tyler Morton. I haven't seen him. Is he injured? Like, did he go on loan? Like, I'm sure he's still technically part of the squad. He might be injured. I don't know. But he was supposed to have gone to Blackburn, come back. He's supposed to be coming into the team. He signed a new deal this previous season. Leighton Clarkson was at Aberdeen, I believe, last season. Outside of that, I'm not seeing these other loans and thinking, yeah, well, he comes in and he's ready. So Kwanzaa, I am worried because if he stays at Liverpool, he ain't getting no game time. We say Europa League, but I feel like that'll be few and far between. So if he ain't going to get that kind of game time, when do you realistically see this guy playing? Liverpool get knocked out of the third round of FA Cup and Carabao Cup. Now he's really pissed. And then he is looking at Bristol Rovers and them, man, just to get some football. But I want to see him really go up a level and start playing high level of football to kind of just see, where he's at. But, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. About Balagizi got a loan to Wigan. All right. I mean, like, big up Balagizi. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He's not even someone I think is even in the stratosphere of thinking for Liverpool in terms of moving forward. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that is a money thing. If he can just develop a little bit, they can probably sell him off potentially to the highest bidder, at some stage in time. You know what I mean? So, we'll wait and we will see. But guys, obviously we reached the end, so I'm gonna go through, and we know I have no idea where we're gonna like League One or League Two. I don't even care. Europa League is the perfect opportunity to play the likes of Kwanzaa and Doak. I hear it, but then I think we are disrespecting the Europa League a little bit. I saw the pots the other day, and I was quite astonished because I said people made out like this Europa League was piss easy before the Champions League teams got there. It doesn't look as easy as you think it is on paper. If you can get an easy group, then of course. But if Liverpool get a group, which they could be a little bit techie, I mean, I don't know if these kind of players will be able to handle. We saw them up against Firth and them, man. It might not realistically work. But I'm gonna go through some of y'all questions. Where should we start? No, let's go start straight from the beginning. All right. I'll get Jerry to answer the question first, and then unless it's directed at me, and then I'll answer it afterwards. Jerry, honestly, asking opinion. Klopp wanting Christensen, and he's also a homegrown. Will you buy him? And I think Kwanzaa should be our fifth choice centre back. So your opinions on Christensen, who plays for Barcelona now?
I'd get him. I think he's a baller. I think he plays. He's Prem proven. He's played in the Prem. There was a period, I think, was it the Champions League run, when he was really, really effective for them. Homegrown. I just think he's better. He'd be a good option to go and have. I think he's not going to be a right back, but if we can have him as a centre back alongside a Virgin, a Konate, or a Virgin, a Matic, then it could be something that you could cook something with that, man. And he's won in it. He's been part of teams that have won the Premier League. He's been part of teams that have won the Champions League. He's played at Barcelona. He's played at the highest level now. So yeah, good player, man.
I feel you.
And the last one, Kwanzaa being our fifth centre back. I wouldn't want him to be our fifth centre back. I think he's either our full centre back and you go all in, or you just send him out on loan.
I feel you. I actually just agree literally with everything that Jerry said. I think Christensen is a player that you could easily get in. Would he be a better option than Gomez? you would argue they're probably on like the same kind of level. So really, it's like a toss up between the two. If Barca don't want a crazy fee for him, then yeah, I'd say just for the debt, to get him in. Kwanzaa, nah, I don't want Kwanzaa staying in the team. I really want him to develop because I do think there's something there, with him. And I'd like to see him play a bit more football. We've seen it with the other players like the Levi Colwood that we keep talking about. He only became this good because he got football. He didn't become good because he was sitting around, fart-arsing around at Chelsea and not making the team. This isn't a Foden situation where the manager's actually willing to try and put you in. So it's just about, I still need to develop a little bit, get myself in, go to Huddersfield, then he got himself to Brighton. And remember, people act like Colwell was popping at Brighton. Brother wasn't even starting at the beginning of the season. He wasn't like, it's only been in this since January, really and truly, that he's really come to fruition. So we can't even act like, oh, he's been amazing this season, because he hasn't. He's been amazing for a period of the season. So again, Kwanzaa, just go out and do the same. And I think you'll be all right. I think you'll be all right. Best front three. They got scraps.
I'm still going to go with the Jota, Gakpo, Salah one because they played really well. Jota and Gakpo combined really well, and Salah is just Salah at the moment, which is obviously a no-brainer. But Núñez, it's just a tricky one, man. But Gakpo, he plays down the centre. He doesn't play down the left. If I want to play Núñez, innit? No, man. Maybe. Yeah, I'd stick with that. Jota, Gakpo, Salah.
Same answer. I think that's the best combination for Liverpool moving forward. But having Diaz and all of those kind of players, as options there, I think it's really good. I think it's really, really good. Big up King Klopp. I know he's obviously left. Does Klopp know how to tighten up the defensive side of things? To be honest, I don't really know. Big up Honesty. Question: will Salah be our top scorer or our top assister?
I think it's the latter. I don't think he's going to score goals this season like that. I'm looking at that position he was. When he played that ball into Jota.
Yeah.
And he's doing. When I told him, and I said it last season, I wanted to see more of that kind of. You're winning us the game by more than just getting goals. Like you're having to do more. I think he's having to do that role now. Like
you want him to be Superman, effectively. Fine.
Not Superman. Not Superman. I want him to do what Kane's done. Do you know what I mean? In recent seasons, where he wins game not only by scoring goals as well, but by his assists that he's played into Son, into Kulusevski, stuff like that. And I
argue them, but why does he need to do that though?
Why does he need to do that? Because we've also got.
He's already scoring the goal, so he's doing.
Yeah.
One of the things that you want him to do.
You're asking the likes of Jota and Núñez to be the creators.
So you don't trust them to be creators?
Well, no, I don't, innit? No, that's what I'm saying. I don't. So for me, it's like cool. Like if I had to, he's got if he's gonna prolong his game, his game needs to be all rounded. And I liked how he peeled off and played that ball on a sixpence into Jota. For me, that excites me more than now him just getting on the end of the goal that Núñez scored, where Jota, the keeper palmed it away and Núñez just smashed it in. We don't need Salah for that. I know Salah can do that, but you've got more in your locker to do more. You've done more in your career. You're more experienced. You should be trying to conduct and let people know when to press and doing that because you understand the system now. So for me, that's what I want from Salah, and I think he becomes a better player for it. And I think last season was a learning curve for him.
I feel you. I think
how goal scorer you still think?
Yeah, I just don't see who's bagging goals like that in this team, bro. I don't see a goal scorer in this team.
19 in the league or something, or Jota gets 19 in the league.
Nah, I think nobody in this team will get 15 goals in the league. The only person who will do that, I think, it will be Salah. I don't see anybody in this team doing it, even if they get thing. I think their goals will all come outside. But I am thinking he will be a top assister, though. I am feel like I know it's going to be either him or Trent. There's only going to be those two anyway. So I feel like he might get more than Trent this season, you know, because
I think he
Jerry's
will.
running.
If Trent, I think if Trent's playing more central, he doesn't get as many assists. I think
that's not the narrative
assists,
that people.
and he creates from midfield, but I don't think he gets as many assists because the pitch is more narrow. So the gaps, the ball he's got to find now is not from an angle.
But Jerry, that doesn't fit the narrative that everybody was telling me.
Fuck that narrative, man. Fuck that narrative.
No, but everyone was telling me that Trent's gonna get double goals. Bro, they thought he was gonna get a triple double and them things there. Like, I was like, right, all right, cool. Like he's gonna get what, goals, assists, interceptions, like I don't know, like whatever you wanna add.
Man said a triple double, you know. Man's gonna start saying what penalties as well. We're cutting penalties separate.
Bro, the way people were talking, like the way everyone's moving, I thought like, yo, Trent's gonna get 10 goals, 15 assists, 25 goals and assists this season. It's gonna be a mad thing. Like we're saying, you know what I mean? Like it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Big up Angel 1968. Abel. JJ&G. Angel. JJ&G, are the defensive fragilities due to tactics and formation, or do our defenders lack positional awareness? I don't know if Jerry, but I'll say I think it's more on the tactics than it is the positional awareness of some players. But the two, it's a combination. But I think I would lean more towards the tactics. I think with the players that we've got, I still think you could easily be a lot better defensively if tactically we were set up better in certain transitional play kind of thing. But the players obviously play their part. Players like Robbo, Konate, you know, stuff like that. So yeah. What about you, Dre?
Yeah, I just think you at this level, you're trying to tell me that everyone's lacking positional awareness.
Yeah, that's not a bit like
Klopp would speak about it. I think if the team was lacking positional awareness, he'd speak about it and be like, "Yeah, we're not doing well." It's like when the press weren't working, Klopp was talking about that very early on, saying the press isn't working and we're not pressing as well as we should be. This is just how he wants it, man. I think it's a risk and reward, isn't it? If you think about it, look, we considered 2 big chances, cool, but we had 16 chances. So who's more likely to win the game? That's the way you look at it, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Big up Jake Kismet.
Yeah, big up Jake Kismet.
Big up down. So big up Henry as well, by the way. Big up Henry Baker. Now, love for that, man. I appreciate that as well, guys. I appreciate that. We're obviously streaming on both channels as well. So, guys, what you're going to do is please make sure you're on both channels and you smash a like on both of them. Please, please, please.
Prioritize GTV, though. We need to head over there. I told you, GTV needs to get to 2 million subscribers. He's only like 500 subscribers for 2 million, so please.
That's only 500 subscribers, 2 million. You think I'll be asking? I'll ask for likes and subscribes.
I swear to God, if I had that pool, yeah, and you went to sleep tomorrow morning, you woke up, you had 2 million subscribers. I kid you not, bro. I'm coming.
I'd expect you to be at my front door, be like, "Yo, Jesus, what are we saying?" Because man, I need to get that P for that. You know what I'm saying? I need to get that. I need to get that big up Major Reds in the blood club building. Big up my bro, man. Big up, man. Next question. Alexander, is Lavia really the guy that six when he's learning his craft? Is Lavia really the guy that will? I'm assuming that will be the 6.
Wow, yeah, like that will be a 6. Is he that guy that will be in the 6 whilst learning his craft? He's that guy, man. I'm just gonna say it out here, man. He's that guy. Like when you talk about, yeah, like I just like, you know, there's just there's certain brothers that are just ballers, innit? Like Musa Dembele, very similar, baller. Lavia, like there's certain brothers that are just like Camavinga, they're ballers. Like you can just see it. Like they don't lose the ball, they make the right decisions. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, there'll be times in like Fabinho's been caught out before and he's played in DM. Thiago's been caught out. Bruv, at West Ham, Thiago made that mad mistake and almost caused the penalty. Like, that happens. And I don't want that to be attributed to the fact that he's young. He's just going to make mistakes because players make mistakes. But I think he's that guy. I think he's... Look, put it this way. If we don't get him, he's going to go somewhere else and we're going to be chatting about him in a couple of years saying, "Rah, we could have got him, but we didn't." That's what I think about it. I don't know about you, but I'm just going to go all in. I think he's a baller, man. He's a baller.
Do I think he's a baller? Yes. Do I think we are the right team to supplement his skill set? No. But I think he's a baller. I do think he's a baller. I think hopefully he can come in and maybe we change it up a little bit. There's a certain profile of players that I think are suitable for Liverpool, and that's why he's never been on my summer transfer target list, because I don't feel like he's that player of the profile that we would need in order to make us better. But he is a baller of a player. You guys already heard what Bajan says, man. Make sure you're smashing the damn likes. And big up LFC Aaron. Thoughts on Bobby Clark today? He was decent. Today. Nice little passages of play. Obviously got himself the goal as well, which is obviously good for his confidence. It was a nice little finish, to be fair. Nice little finish. Kept the ball tidy. He's like a busybody in there. Like, much ado about nothing type of player. But got himself a goal. He wasn't a poor performance. I think, yeah, he's all right. I think next season, again, for me, you'd fall into that Kwanzaa bracket of, yeah, so you're going to need to go out on loan because the game time that you're going to get here isn't going to be. We should only keep a core base of players. Obviously, keep a couple youngsters if they're mad young, like a Doak maybe if you want, because we haven't got anyone else to play that side. But Bobby Clark plays in a position where I'm like, I don't feel like we're going to need you. You know what I mean? Over the course of a season, unless we get mad injuries.
Unless, like I said, Klopp's saying, when Klopp's saying, look, we want to make changes, he's part of the changes that he wants to make. That's an option that we're using in the field.
Yeah.
Then if that's the case, I said run it. But run him, give him a proper run, not none of this like coming on for 5 minutes. He makes one mistake, everyone's onto him. You don't see him for another 2 months, and it's like, oh, Clark's coming on again. Like, that's just washed. He needs to go and get a run of games, man. And then you know if he's good enough or not.
No, fact. King Cop, GTV bit off topic, but I was just wondering, did you and Cal get anything? Nah, bro, shout Cal. Next time you go on Coppish, let him know. I'm here, I'm ready. See what I mean? I'll jump on Coppish whenever. Got to get something set up. Big up the guys over there at Coppish as well. So, yeah, literally, man. Make sure you also, there was a stream that Jerry did over there. I can't remember who he signed or sold, but it was a very, very good stream, man. A good conversation that these guys were having. So, yeah, make sure you head over there, obviously, and check it out. What should we go to? I'll get to that one later. King Cut obviously asking, guys, do you think if we get a DM, will we be any more solid?
A bit. I mean, it just depends on. Like, if the DM comes in and he's Kante, then yeah, innit? Like, if any DM comes in and he just gives you that Kante output, I mean, like, Chelsea won the league because of Kante, Leicester won the league because of Kante. Like, if you got a midfielder like that, then yes. If he comes in and he's just part of a system, then not necessarily because it's still a systematic problem. But as we've seen with Liverpool, a player can make a difference. Hence why when we signed Virgil, we looked much more solid already, even though our whole system was still predicated on just being mad, offensively minded and being open to conceding chances at the back. So, yeah, man.
I feel you. Boom. Big up. We know is a combo of Mac and Szoboszlai not likely. I need Klopp to at least give it a chance.
We spoke. Yeah,
not really.
Read that already,
yeah. I'm gonna get to that later as well because that'll be the last thing I wanted to talk about. All right, honestly. Question: will you man them either trust a youth player or go get someone who will need time to adapt? And how long will you give both options before saying this ain't it? Will you either trust a youth player or go and get someone who will need time to adapt? We'll use Kwanzaa and Levi Colwill because they're both just the easiest one I can think of off the top of my head. So would you rather get a Levi Colwill or would you rather just trust a Jarell Kwanzaa?
Shout to Jarell, man, my Ghanaian there, innit? Man, Ghanaian, but
yo, where he's from is not the point. Will you rather trust Jarell?
Listen to what I'm saying. Unfortunately, I'll go with Colwill because I just think he's better, innit? Like, just simply put, I just think he's better. He's just a bigger sample size. However, when I'm looking at what would you give both options as, I'd give him the same. To be fair, I'd give the youth player more options because they're younger and they're an unknown quantity, so they have got to go and play games. If I'm buying, like, for example, like Caicedo, right? If
I was going to say Curtis Jones and McAllister, but yeah, go on.
yeah, or McAllister, or Curtis Jones and Soboslai, because they're both the same age.
Soboslai, yeah.
I expect Soboslai to do better than Jones, innit? Like, you've played more games, you're more experienced. We've bought you for prop P's. If by January you're moving off, I'm looking at you funny. If this was Jones, if Jones was coming through the academy and only came through now at 22, I wouldn't have that same venom with him because he's just not at the same stage of development. So,
no, I feel you. I think we spoke on Lavia in regards to what we think in regards to him. Couple more questions. Another statement here. Diaz needs to improve his end product too, or it will be a frustrating season. Yep, I agree. I've always said this about, there's Diaz. Justin kind of echoing that. I'm concerned with Diaz goal return, guys. We seem to focus on Darwin, Salah.
G. Sorry to guess how much Mane is earning at Al Nassr.
600 bags a week.
650.
Oh, I was close. I didn't even know. I didn't even know who was going.
650 net.
Oh my God. Yeah, see the Saudi thing. I keep telling you, bro, if Saudi come to me and say, yo, G, we want to take your channel over to Thing, but you're going to have to be a lot more, you can't be negative towards Thing. Guess what? I'm selling out and I'm going to make sure I'm not as negative as I am towards you.
Hold on.
You guys know now.
If Al Ettifaq coming through you, and they're like, yeah, we want you to change GTV to be exclusively only doing content surrounding Al Ettifaq, would you be able to do it?
Yes. Listen, I'll become a historian. You don't think I'll be reading books on Saudi Arabian football? Yo, brother, I'll do the most.
All I'm saying is you're gonna have to learn Arabic quick because
listen. Arabic is one of those languages that's spoken everywhere around the world. I'll learn it, bro. If I have to learn it for that type of money, I promise you I'm learning. Call me a sellout. Call me whatever you want. Guess what? I'm gonna be the one smiling with the bank account. You guys can say whatever you need to say. You know what I'm trying to say? My money, man, living in his bro. Real talk. Real damn. Hey, yo. Anfield Road then. Yo. Chill. You know what I'm saying? If he wanted to get that hairline, he's got a piece to get it. This is just his style now. I think he lacks it. Do you? I have to find the picture. If I find the picture, I'll send it in.
Which one?
Do you remember when we was in COVID? Yeah.
Yeah. I got it.
You got it.
All right, let me see if I can share it. Hold on.
See if you can. Because that picture was crazy. What, Mane with the trim and that? Yo, you guys ain't ready for Mane like that.
Hold on. Can I share it? I can't share it, but I'll share it because I can't send it to you.
All right, cool. Yeah, share. If you can share.
Yeah, where is it?
I did. Oh, tell me when you're ready.
Yeah, it should be sharing still. Can you see that?
But I can see. Yeah.
Hold on. Cause I've had to click it, so it's all.
But Young as well. Yo, these brothers, I can tell. Yeah, when you man ain't got your barber every day, looking kind of mad.
No, but Aubameyang's was always peak though.
Yeah, it's true.
But the Cantona made me crease. The fact he could grow hair, I thought he was fully bald. It's like if you grew an afro one day, like you just.
Yeah. It would be mad. It would actually be mad. It's just frozen, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like the only thing we can see on the screen is literally.
Oh shit! All right. Anyway, you guys saw it.
But yeah, nah. And but don't get twisted, bro. You might see me. Like I'm saying, you might. I'm considering maybe going to. Listen, no more said, man. One day you'll just see me rock up to stream one day.
Braids, looking like 20. Looking like Calazinga on stream. Bro, I
Bro.
swear to bro, I swear
Nah, I would never. You know what? I wouldn't even go that extreme,
That'll
but
go
looking like
viral,
Camavinga.
That'll go viral though. I swear to God. If you pulled up and you had dreadlocks and like thick ones, that health.
Nah, it would never ever be. It would never be that peak. But let's put it this way, yeah. So because obviously sometimes I look at my son, I'm like, obviously he's got like from his mum's side, his mum's got bare hair, like she's got bare hair, like down to like a bum type level hair. But and when he's clearly obviously got her strength in hair kind of thing. So I'm like, yeah, you're lucky, you know, because you're lucky you can have a cane roll, you can put your hair into any type of design that you want.
Bruv. You're saying that, gee, I don't know about you, yeah. I know I would do this. There comes a time, yeah, where you've just got to get that machine and go, yeah, and you got to take everything off. And
you know what's mad? I actually said I don't want to. I actually said, nah, he's not cutting off his hair. Like he's not cutting his hair off. He has to just grow that. He's just gonna grow that. Not cutting his hair off.
Hey, Uncle Albert's gonna kill you for this. You see that? You see when your son goes Ghana? Hey, they're gonna.
He has to. Nah, he's keeping it, bro. As in, he's not cutting his hair. As in, if I see anyone cut his hair, it's gonna be a wartime. It's gonna be wartime. Can't cut his hair.
Like
cut his hair for what?
Like ever. Like even when he's like.
When he gets to an age where if he wants to cut it, then he can cut it. Then you'll run your thing.
You're not cutting it at like when he's at 5 or 6. You're not saying that. Yeah, you're in school. You're getting the level 1.
Nah, as in you're gonna just run the cane roll thing. Unless he genuinely wanted it, then I'll say, nah, bro, just grow your hair. Literally just grow your hair. Grow your hair, bro.
You see what that is, people? That's G trying to live through his son, you know, like G growing up, man. Seeing Dipset, Pusha T with the dreads and that, thinking with the K-Roll saying, yeah, I wanted that. African person never gonna allow that. G was like, yeah, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do.
Well, big up Stefano. That's probably why. Yeah, my hair ain't strong, boy. I promise you. I promise you that. Yeah, listen. You know what I'm saying? Little G's got a. You know what I mean? Like he's got a. One day, maybe.
You don't want to get your son. It might be more trauma in the long run. Do you know why? Yeah. God forbid, touch wood. Everyone can say I'm touching wood. Yeah. He's got the cane routine. He never cuts his hair because he's like, becomes a safety net. Like I've got my hair.
Yeah.
And then he's getting the cane routine, but the cane routine's pulling back. Then it becomes
true. Yeah. Now true.
Depending on when he goes bald, because I know some of my boys went bald at like 19, 20. He was already doing the McDonald's thing. So when that was happening, so the Ghana thing, the uncle thing that goes like this. That was already happening, yeah. So when that's happening, their man already got short hair. So like them going bald ain't a difference.
Ain't a mad drop. Yeah. I feel
you got the long thing, bruv. It's one of the ones that like some barbers and that when they got the cane-roll thing and it's just peeling back. Yeah, man. What I'm saying is, right, like I said, don't pressure your son too much. It's like with a football thing. You don't want your son to hate it.
No, but this is the point. This is why I say, bro, do your thing. Like if man got to 5 and was like, nah, dad, I wouldn't like, oh, daddy can cut your hair then, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna stop you really either way. But in terms of me putting it out there, then nah. But obviously, also as well, there's gonna be a time. Obviously, remember boys as well. You know how it goes. Like trying to do their hair every week. When these times you're just messing up your hair in school all the time. Eventually, his mum's gonna be like, yeah, well, this is getting kind of long, and I ain't trying to keep paying to do his hair. It's just gonna get long. So he might have to end up just getting, quick level 1, wake up in the morning, brush, and you're gone. As opposed to trying to pattern up your head back and.
Like I said, you're a good dad, man. You're a good dad. All I know is for my future kids is peak, bro. As soon as you hit, I'm telling you now, as soon as you're like 3 months, that baby hair, that first machine's touching your head and you're having a level 1.
That's 3 months. What?
Hold on. You think I didn't have a haircut at 3 months? But I've got videos of my mum holding my head with my dad cutting the hair, bro. You peak. The garden thing is serious, bro. You think I could touch that? Listen.
I said 3-month-old Jerry, yeah? Sitting there, these times, don't know nothing in the world, and one of the first few things you're doing is, hey, but you got a good hairline though, so you know what I mean, you're all right for now.
You say that, yeah. Man are forgetting I'm Ghanaian, Man are forgetting that. Like I said, I might end up one day. Man saying I ain't got a Rom's hairline. Do you know what I mean? I've got a good hairline, I ain't got a Rom's hairline. So give it 5 years, man. The McDonald's, I might have hair, but I might have the McDonald's thing, and then it's peak. Then I'm going bald by default. I swear to God.
But I think you look calm. I actually think you would look calm because you got a beard. If you
Yeah,
didn't, then it might look a bit mad. But yeah,
but
that's why we say beard. It depends. You can obviously you can go 2-pack and just not have a beard, so to speak. But that works for his head shape. For some people, it don't always realistically work. To be honest with you, but
now Beijing saying,
nah,
man,
big.
Jerry, don't do that. No, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. No. It has to be passed down. I'm not having that. What do you mean?
This is what I'm saying, Beijing. He's moving mad. Man
Nah,
said,
man, you cut it off straight away. Get rid of the baby hairs, man. Start growing that real
bro,
hair real quick.
PTSD is real. Not only for Liverpool, but just for Jerry as a human being, bro. Man said 1 year old. Tony's getting a trim. Yo, listen, hey, each their own though, man. Each to their own. Guys, we're gonna get to the last couple questions, and then we're going to head out because I am hungry. We got Jay Kismet. What did he say? I didn't even read. Using black space.
That's
Yeah,
it.
see?
See the spray thing, bro. I swear
Yeah,
to God.
see?
Do you know how I knew? Yeah, that I've got a Ghanaian hairline and that it could catch me anytime. Yeah, even though now it's calm, it could catch me anytime. Yeah, is when my barber, yeah, when I got cut low, was like, what, you want to use the spray? He got the black spray out. I was like, yeah, all right, it's there. It's on the borderline. It's like when they tell Matip and that, or like Verge. Hey Verge, you're only doing the single session today. You don't need to do the double. He already knows in the back end of his career. When I heard that he might need to use the spray to sharpen it up, yeah, I hear that. I'm like, all right, cool. Like now I've braced myself, so now I've got to make sure
You didn't just come as a sudden thing. Yeah, nah, I feel you.
Yeah, man. Like if I start seeing it, people will see it. I'm gonna start getting it mad low, until the point like man won't even clock it. Man will. When did he go bald? On stream.
If someone hasn't been on stream for time, hasn't come into the chat, they'll be like, bruh, he's enjoying a minute. He's enjoying a minute. He's in hard times in that. Crazy, bro. Crazy. What was it? Oh yeah. Jackie, what is your midfield three when Lavia comes on?
Look at Alexander Delos. Man said he had the first shave with a blunt razor.
But with a razor, yo, you man are moving kind of mad.
Oh, that's this thing, That's the prison.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the prison break, man.
I don't even like using that now, let alone using that when man was a baby. All right, cool. But again, like I said, he's joking. Bro.
Hold on, G. Quick question, yeah. Are you at that level yet where you can just do it like this? Just go all over. You still need to be careful. Like, I saw someone.
It wouldn't like when it grows. What you talking about the hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, like when it grows back, it will grow back to like say, like what would I say? I wouldn't even say like, especially like more so around the sides, but on the top it'll be really low. But on the sides it'll be like a level 1-ish, if not what? Yeah, like a 1-ish on the thing. So I'd still have to be relatively. I couldn't just go like that because that will kind of hurt in a sense. I'd have to get the actual.
I saw a brother in the gym, yeah. He was just doing this, like in mad different directions. But I was like, and the thing is, shout out to Neil Gunner, it was the big one, it was the yellow one as well. The plastic thing just getting like that over his head. I was like, yeah, this is crazy, bro. No soap, no water, just water, bro. Just water and just.
Yeah, see, now that level, I feel like that might give me another like 2-3 years, 5 years.
That's when like you're completely bald though, because you're not completely bald. You're choosing to be bald. That's a different thing. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying any McDonald's it's cancelled, bro.
Hey, you know what? One of these streams, yeah, I'll show you a picture of say like let's say when my hair would have been at its longest, so to speak, and then you'll see the difference between that and then. Now and then you also see it. I'll show you a picture of me like a fade, and you would have seen it even when I would have had a fade, you would have just been like exactly what you said there, where you're just like when you're getting the trims. And my fade was never really too low, but when it did get to a certain level where maybe it was too low, you would have been like, oh, you wouldn't really have noticed the difference between the two because you would have just been like, oh, okay, cool. It just you just took it all off there. All right, cool, kind of thing. I remember some guy at uni said the same thing. He looked at me, he's like, right, when did you cut it all off? I was like, yeah, I had it all off for like for time. Like, he's like, bro, I thought it was always been low. I said,
The
yeah,
gradual thing. It's the gradual thing. Yeah, man.
gradual, yeah, gradually. Yeah, I'll ask this quickly. If Lavia comes in, what would be a midfield three versus Chelsea?
Lavia. Ideally, in an ideal world, then if this was FIFA FM 23, FM 24, you'd want Lavia, Soboslai, and McAllister. I think it will be Lavia, Jones, and McAllister.
I'll say McAllister, Jones, Soboslai. Yeah,
Raw, no DM.
that is the McAllister will be the DM.
McAllister. Hey, you
Oh.
see, G trying to get Liverpool relegated because he knows the ratings are going up on his channel. The agenda can run. I hear it though. I hear it. We might as well, man. Exciting time.
You might as well run the rhythm. LFC Aaron, we're not gonna answer this today. We'll do a show on this anyway when we get like maybe next week. I think the season starts soon.
2 weeks.
Yeah, close to the time. But I will remember your comment anyway, regardless. So if you are in the chat on that day, we do the thing. Just put it up again. But I'll remember it. I'll put it in my notes for now. Well, second to last question. How are you feeling about Darwin's scoring consistency? I don't know if we touched on that before. I know Bajan just come in. Yeah, he's doing good, man. He's scoring goals. Can't really complain. Yeah, what about you, man? You feeling it?
Yeah, man. Like I'm feeling it. Like he's scoring. Long may it continue against the big dogs into the season, isn't it? That's about it.
That's fucking joke on. Last question. I think it's a good way to end the show as well. Fab is going. What is your favorite Fab moment? We'll say moment instead of goal and match or whatever. Just what's your favorite Fab moment?
You know, I'm gonna remix it. I'm gonna give you my favorite Fab moment, and I'm gonna give you the moment when I was done with Fabinho, innit? And why I'm not gonna even do a video on him saying thank you. Yeah, this is when it was. Yeah.
Right.
My favorite Fab moment, was being at Anfield, Centre, main stand, when you rasped it after Pep done twice, and you rasped it.
Oh, yeah.
That I was there, innit? So that atmosphere was crazy. It was crazy.
It seemed that mad.
It was crazy. Brother, I almost fell down the whole, like it would have been peak, brother. It was looking, I didn't want to say the name, innit? Because the show would get cancelled, but it was looking peak. The amount of people were falling down, do you know what I mean? It was peak. But full landing stands was peak, but it was crazy vibe. For me.
When were you done with him?
Let me see if you can get this picture up. I'm gonna send this picture to you. Let me see if you can get this up. This one, when he became that like Uber driver, I was like, yeah, man, I'm done with this, brother. I'm actually done. I've sent it to you. I'll send it to both sides anyway. Yeah, I sent it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, see, when he did all of that,
that moment there, that was the final nail in the coffin for me, man. Boom. Done. Can you put it up, yeah?
Yeah, because I was sent my phone. I'm just gonna put it.
Okay, cool. No, I didn't know if I sent it to the right phone, innit? See, man don't even know. Yo. Yeah, I was saying, man don't even know that G's got a twin. And G's the twin, the one that's running everything in the back. So I'm not even chatting to G, I'm chatting to, do you know what I mean? Genius. But yeah, man, that moment, When Faradona cooked Fabinho like a Christmas turkey. Oh shit. Brighton game. Yeah. Anfield Road End. That, you see those faces, yeah? That's like,
Yeah, when this happened, you were just like, brother, yeah. So
nah.
even his face, like I'm just looking at his face, like he knew he should have got sent off that day, 100%.
No, but I
100%.
can't have my midfielder be like, I should have got sent off. He's got to be like, nah, like, I don't care. That was a good challenge. I can't have him. That's admitting defeat to me. When he's doing the pleading thing, going, like after he's on the floor and he's got his hand out like that, that's that bottom picture. Yeah, that's done for me, man. Like, yeah.
Nah, he looked. I think my moment of well, I got the same moment as you in terms of when he rasped it against Manchester City.
Yeah.
Yeah, against Manchester City. And in regards to when I was like, yeah, I'm done with Fabinho now, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see, was when we faced Crystal Palace at home. Like in that game against in Anfield, when I was just watching Zaha, Eze, and them man just sidestep man like as if he just wasn't even there at all. I said, yeah. Fabinho, maybe it's time you touch bench, but we didn't really have anybody them times because everybody was obviously injured and that. So it was like there's not really much else we realistically can do, you know what I mean, in these kind of situations. I mean, let's see if I can even get the picture. There's actually a funny picture in that game. No, we're gonna bother with that. But yeah, those are my kind of moves. But look, listen, man, Fabinho's left. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Guys, thank you for rocking with us. There is still 51 of you, obviously, in this chat. Just like to say thank you for everybody. Thank you guys for your questions. Thank you guys for listening. Agree, disagree, who cares? Just tune in, like the damn video. Jerry, before we obviously head out, what have we got for the peeps this coming week, man?
Yeah, so basically, guys, what I've got, I'm not going to lie to you, I've got jack crap, man. I'm not going to lie, I've got jack shit. Yeah, I have to wait in it. We're waiting on this Lavia thing. Yeah, there'll be something out next week, man. There'll be something out next week. Just got to stay tuned, man. Might be tomorrow, might be the day after. Probably will be tomorrow if I'm being deadly honest. What it's going to be on, I don't know. To be fair, I might even do a calling show. How about that? Maybe get some of you guys on. I haven't done it in a long time. Let's just chat. Let's just have a chat about anything, man. Do you know what I mean? Vent to me. Do you know what I mean? Talk to Frank. Call me Frank, man. Call me Frank. So yeah, man.
Man, to talk to Frank. Big up Jerry. I'm not going to answer that now, but I might do a scout watch on him actually this week. He was one of the players that
what
for the weekend.
What's Bayesian Red saying? What have you been doing, Bayesian Reds? If he's saying I'm too busy with it, right? How does he know? What you been up to, Bayesian? Bayesian, what you been up to, Bayesian?
No, I'm staying out of this conversation, but I didn't say it, so you know, I mean, I don't want anyone getting angry with me.
Eric, just Eric.
But yes, all right, peeps. Catch me next week. No idea where, but you'll see the Scout Watchers. You'll catch me on Jerry's show for any shows that he is going to be doing. So obviously, stay tuned. When is our next game? I was actually trying to find that.
Is it the first?
Is that one right already? The first? I said tomorrow's the 31st.
Yeah, it's not in 2 days.
Brother, you're asking as in I don't know unless I hear someone. It's in 2 days.
It's the second.
So it's on Wednesday, guys. Oh, why? No, man. That means I have to work from home that day. I actually have to work because otherwise I'm not going to be able to see the game. All right, guys. We'll be back here potentially Wednesday evening doing a match reaction for the game. Big up to everybody in the chat. Make sure you like in. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe to both channels. And we are outie.